What's up, everybody? This is going to be part 2 in my modding tutorial for the Binding of Issac. If you didn't see the last episode, you probably should, even though it isn't that important. All we did is change the exe file from the Binding of Issac thing from Steam into an SWF file in which we can work with. See, and that's this right there. I may post a download link to it, I'm not sure. Or if I have time, I probably will. But anyway, let's get to it. So first thing that you're going to need is Sothink SWF decompiler. If you don't have it, get it, and just get it. It's pretty much required. There may be ways around it, but this is definitely the easiest way. So what you do is open it, and wait for that to open. I already have the Binding of Issac SWF loaded in here. If it isn't loaded in here, you can just sort of drag this to this and then everything's good. Alright, so now that this is loaded, what we're going to want to do is select the SWF and export to FLA. Now you can do all this stuff, that doesn't matter, just change this to whatever Flash version you're using. I'm using CS6, so I'm going to click this, and OK. Now this is going to take a long time, and I mean a long time to export, so just sit back, watch some YouTube, watch my other videos because you love me. It's okay if you don't, but anyway, so sometimes you'll get an error, and sometimes I got this error for a while before I figured out how to fix it. You may get an error saying you're out of RAM. If you get that, just click hi for this and you'll be good. And it's going to use a lot of RAM, so it's probably going to use 1 to 2 gigs of RAM, so be prepared. And I'm just gonna jump cut until that's done. So once it's done, cut. This is kind of taking a while, but I'm just gonna let it do its thing because, yeah. So while that's loading, it's gonna export into your documents folder, and it's just gonna be whatever the file name you put it as, and then open it. There's going to be some files in there, and then an FLA file. So it's gonna load. Now I'm probably just gonna be lazy and not edit this and just post a time when it's done on the video because stuff. I'm lazy and it's 4 a.m. Actually, it's 4:35 a.m. Doing this kind of late. This is taking a while, but this is going on Reddit, so I kind of have to wait for it to do its thing. Okay, it's done. So we're just going to close this, I'm going to leave this open because we're going to be using it in a bit. Also, guys, while we're in here, we're going to want to export the fonts because we're going to be using them. So, just uncheck all of these things that aren't the fonts. It's so long to load. I'm just going to get out of it, then get back into it to export the fonts, since we're going to need those in the game so it doesn't look weird without the specialized fonts. Just skip this so it doesn't make noise. Open. Wait for it to open, because it needs to open already. Fuck. Alright. Now we're just going to click text and export resource. And okay. Alright, so that's all. That didn't work. Not what I thought it was doing. Never mind, just ignore all of that. Ignore it. Actually, that could be useful. Oh, just ignore that. Ignore that, we need fonts. Ignore all of that, we need fonts. I feel silly. I may edit that out. I probably will. Okay, now that that's done, we are going to use Flash CS6. And you will need Adobe Flash. Doesn't matter what version. I recommend CS5 or CS6. Doesn't really matter. Anyway, so you're going to open up Flash. And we're going to be using the decompiler a lot, just for ease of access, sort of. Alright, so now that we're in Flash, we're going to do File, Open, Continue Trial. You can use a trial for this too. It's not a big deal doing that. Anyway, we do SWD1, and it opens this. And now that we wait for that to open, because, takes time and stuff. I'm not using an SSD, so, yeah. Okay, the text will display these. We can fix that later with the fonts that we exported, but for the purposes of this video, we're just going to click OK. Now you're going to see a bunch of stuff that'll look like this, and it's going to look super weird. We go full screen. We aren't going to be using any of that. None of it. Okay. So, but we are going to be using is this library. There's going to be all these fonts and stuff in there, but what we're interested for graphical modding is sprites. So now that we have all these, there's going to be all these graphical things in there that we can change and edit as we want, and that's what this tutorial is going to be focused on. Anyway, that's going to be it for this tutorial, so I'm going to do more later, but that's probably going to be tomorrow sometime. Anyway. Bye. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that stupid stuff. So, toodles.